they're right. They think they're doing the right thing, no matter if they're the villain, they're doing something horrible. They think that they are doing the correct thing from their point of view. So we're taught not to judge the characters. We learn our lines and we execute our blocking, and that's that. But it's always a blessing to work.
Got you. So let's see. Let's hip hop. Are you a fan of
Hip
hip
hop,
hop?
I love hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So I'm gonna talk about what happened recently. I'm gonna talk about this at the end of my show. But how was your take on the verses? I know it's really huge on social media right now. Did you get a chance to
You
look at
know,
that?
I loved it. I loved it, man. Jadakiss is a monster. I mean, he's always been a monster. I don't know who did not know that prior to the other night. Um, he's incredible. The entire life is incredible. As a matter of fact, I met Styles P a long time ago in Harlem when they had the juice bar on 125th and Madison. And, cool dude, man. There's no, you know what I mean? No Hollywood ish about him, man. He was just cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Down there. It's something that, you always can appreciate, especially with someone that many eyes on them. And I kind of can relate to that as my career has progressed and more people started to begin to know who I was, you know what I mean? I try to keep it humble and be thankful because it can be taken away in any moment.
Absolutely. But back to you and your career. How long have you been acting?
I've been acting for 20 years. I started on stage at North Carolina A&T State University. I got to
Ah.
say, Aggie pride behind that. Aggie pride. So I began on stage doing a lot of work, plays by August Wilson and James Baldwin and Sophocles. I actually did Antigone as a freshman.
Wow.
On stage. So actually, my first main stage show was doing a Greek style play, and that was to renew our accreditation with National Accreditation Schools of Theater. So it was a big deal back then. It's so long; it seems like yesterday. But yeah, I've been at it for 20 years, and I've been pretty fortunate and blessed to work with a lot of great people. I'm not gonna say artists, I'm gonna say people because you always want to be with great people.
Right.
You know,
Right.
at the beginning, you always want to be around people that are enjoyable to be around, fun to be around, that don't take themselves too seriously, but take the craft seriously. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. So I'm still here, still breathing, thanking the ancestors for that, and we'll see what the future brings. But I do have like several projects like in the can. I guess I can go ahead and talk
Yeah,
about a
please talk
couple.
about them. Yes.
So I'm in a film with Saigon, the rapper,
Okay.
who's now an actor doing like a lot of incredible work. But I did a film called Shadows. We actually shot that prior to the pandemic, and it's in post right now. And I play a preacher in that one, so that's kind of different. Still
Okay.
authoritative, but play a pastor who like a couple brothers come to for some advice. I'm in a few scenes. Unfortunately, I don't share any scenes with Saigon, but I'm looking forward to seeing the movie and seeing his performance. Also, I'm slated to do another film called A Cup Full of Crazy that's being directed by Jillian Bullock, and supposed to go to Philly and shoot that. I also got Rest in Peace DMX. I was cast in a film called Dogman before the pandemic started, obviously, and
Wow.
I was looking forward to possibly like working with DMX
Wow.
before he passed away. So production kind of like, of course, when he passed away, production had to stop. Um, that's still supposed to happen. Shout out to Antonio Simmons, by the way, who's the creator, writer, director, producer of that. Yeah,
Is
and
he in relation to DMX?
yeah,
Earl
they're
Simmons?
I believe they're cousins.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they are related. Yeah. Um, So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. You know what I mean? I don't want to trip myself up and say something that I'm not supposed to say,
I
but
know, I know, I know. Some things you just
yeah,
gotta wait. We're real
yeah,
excited.
they always put a embargo on you. You know how that is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, I'm just having fun, man, and and being thankful that I get to do what I love to do on an everyday basis. You know, whether that is looking for opportunities on Actors Access. Yes, I still do that. You got to be a hustler out here. Can't depend on your agent.
Okay.
Yeah, it can't depend on your agent or your manager, and I have them all.
It's
You know,
true
at one
though.
point,
It's true.
I had a publicist, I have a stylist, like I have a whole team. But you know, so it takes a team to do this. You can't just do it by yourself. Of course, you know that. You know that. But yeah, like I said, I'm just looking forward to what the future brings at this point, and hoping some of these projects that have been put on hold actually, I'm not gonna say come to fruition because they are to fruition, but actually like get released at the right time when the producers want them to be released. So yeah,
Absolutely. So let's say 20 whole years. What has been the most challenging, and was there ever a time that you wanted to quit?
every day.
That's a good answer, right? I totally
Every
get
day.
it.
No, I think I'm just gonna be honest. I think of quitting every day. But I don't. That's the difference between thinking about it and
Actually doing it. So what keeps you going? What makes you say, nah, I gotta?
That's a great question. What keeps me going? I haven't gotten this far just to get this far. That's what keeps me going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. And you brought up a valid point where, people, you guys are people, not just focusing on working on with actors. I want to work with great people. And this is a lot of things, even with the Olympics and the gymnasts and other people who are in the limelight. A lot of outside people don't understand that you are just as emotional as them, just has mental breakdowns, has stress, have other things going on, personal things going on in their lives, and a lot of people don't understand that. How are you able to balance, what goes on in your personal life and still, with and be an actor, but still?
Oh wow, that's an awesome question. I mean, you got to keep good people around you first and foremost. You have to keep good people around you. You can't keep yes people around you. You got to have real friends. I mean, those that aren't jealous of you, those that are not hating on you. You really have to keep your circle kind of small in that sense. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, keep trusting people around you. And so that's what keeps me going, and that's what keeps me level-headed and keeps me at an even keel, even when I do have my low points. Because, I mean, this business can be frustrating. It can be because you're not going to get every opportunity. There's a lot of rejection, a lot of it. I'm not immune to it. And you have to remember, like, we all are human. So we all, are going to question things at times. But, again, I stay focused on knowing what the assignment is, knowing what my mission is, knowing that I have a child that's watching me and how I react to the world because she's learning from me.
Right.
What keeps me going is my community back in North Carolina who are always rooting for me. What keeps me going is the future that I see for myself and my loved ones and future generations because I'm creating generational wealth. And that's what it's about for me. And I think the more that we talk about financial literacy, and especially in Black and Brown communities, we will all be better off. I'm just learning things.
Talk about it, yes. We have a financial show here on Sundays as well, purposely for that reason, because it's not. I mean, what we're learning in school is not what we need to learn to actually survive in this world. So. It's definitely important that we bring attention to that, especially for us. So So keep talking about what your interest is as far as that goes. Financial literacy.
So financial literacy. I mean, I just started learning things this year, probably about like February or March. I caught on to a web webcast called Earn Your Leisure.
Okay.
These two brothers, you might know about them, you might not, but you should check it out if you don't. These two brothers from Westchester County. One is named Bilal, and the other name is Troy.
Okay.
And what they do is they bring in guest entrepreneurs from all walks of life. From the dude on the block that came up and became a multi-millionaire, Switz, or the one that has the MBA from the big school. Or they bring in billionaires like Mark Cuban or Grant Cardone.
Okay.
So they interview some of everyone. So I started learning about financial literacy by catching them on. First, it was on Instagram, and then they went to YouTube, and they have a whole, production now. But that's how I started getting into it, and I started learning more and more and more. Because we're not taught these things in school. Like, we should be taught about
Absolutely.
what a dividend is in school. We should be taught about, how consumer credit works as opposed to business credit. We're not taught these things in school,
Right.
and that's the reason why. But I could go on.
We
and
could,
on and on.
yeah, that could be a whole show. There's definitely a reason why. It's for us to not elevate, and that's like the main reason why. So they want to stagnate. They don't want to provide that information. They want to keep in putting that we were slaves in our heads throughout our whole school year. But anyway, back to you, Tamika. We're about to actually wrap this up pretty soon. Let us know where they could find you and all that good stuff.
So you can find me on Instagram and Tomike OG. That's TOMIKEOG. It's my first name and the first two letters of my last name. Because I am an OG. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Full city.
You're OG, you GQ, all of that good stuff you got going on.
Buddy, oh my God. So yeah, you can find me on there or on Facebook and my government name. And oh my God, I'm so sorry. They are doing some construction or something outside of my building here in New Jersey.
That's okay. I hear you perfectly fine. So,
you hear me perfectly?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So yeah, you can find me there on Facebook or Instagram. I don't use my Twitter account that much, so I don't think it's worth even saying it. But you can follow me on Twitter, Tomike Lee. COMIKELEE.
Got it.
Yeah, so yeah, you can find me. But I'm really active on Instagram and on Facebook, but more so now on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any last words you want to say to your fans or the audience?
Yeah, just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Don't take no for an answer. Stay humble, stay hungry, stay studying. Always be trying to get better at what you do. Don't get complacent. And I'm really talking to myself when I say that because
Absolutely.
I've had a tendency to get complacent, especially when I was younger. So anything you want to get out of this life, get it. As long as you have a plan and you stay focused, it can happen. I'm a living example of that. You're looking at someone who moved from North Carolina, to Chicago, where I really started my career. And I lived in Chicago for about 4 years, and I moved to New York.
Wow.
And with no family, no friends, from out the mud, as they say. You know what I mean? And
the sacrifices.
Stay focused.
The sacrifices we make. Absolutely.
One day I looked up and I was on one of the biggest TV shows in the world, so it can happen.
Yes. Salute to you. That's right. We got to keep making those sacrifices until it finally happens, and definitely will be happening for you, Tamike. I'm so appreciative of you being on the Good Looking News with Millennium TV 24. We're about to go into commercial break, but just don't disconnect until we actually disappear. Hold on right there. We'll be right back. Millennium TV 24. I'm Kim Seabrook. And still there. Yeah, sometimes that happens. There's a delay sometimes in the commercial. But in the meantime, you'll be there tonight at the hip hop festivals in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I
Hip
intend to
hop
be
film
there.
festivals. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hip hop film. I intend to be there. I actually just was right before we started with the interview. I texted the producer of the project. She is out of town still, so I may have to go there and represent. I don't know who else in the cast is going to be there tonight. At opening night, so I think I'm gonna skip it to the city.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause I live in Newark, so I'm not far. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to jump in my car and go
All
see what's
right.
going on. See my homegirl, C.R. Capers, who's the producer of the whole festival. See what she's been up to. Yeah. So how you been, Kim?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm great. As you see, we over here on Millennium TV 24 trying to take a quick break so that I could go into my next segment. And
Okay.
that's it. You know, working hard and trying to work for the people. That's the main thing. Highlighting amazing people such as yourself. That's what we want to do on the news channel
Appreciate
here.
it. And listen, let's probably like link up sometime. You know what I mean? Um, yeah.
Absolutely. Indeed. Well, we're about to do this break right now. So, Tamike, thank you again for being with us, and we'll catch you next time.
Cool. All right. Have a good day.
You too.
What does a Regis What does a Regis divorce, a Regis bankruptcy, and a Regis personal injury claim have in common? Regis lawyers. Lawyers who care. Convenient, affordable, respectful, and experienced. We work 100% for the 99%. Over 20 years, we've helped thousands throughout the Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island. For a free consultation with an experienced attorney, call or text us at 212-766-1100. Ici, hablamos español.
Millennium TV, bridging. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
And welcome back to Millennium TV 24. Thank you to Mike Ogugawa for tuning in with us today, right here on the Good Looking News. So let's get into the news. Let's see what's going on right here in the city, New York City, that is, in the Bronx. Mott Haven residents, they voiced their concerns of a proposed bike lane on Jackson Avenue. I can understand the frustration. Mott Haven residents are speaking out against the Department of Transportation and a new proposal that they say will make parking impossible in their neighborhoods. Starlin Reyes have lived in Mott Haven for the past 27 years. Last Tuesday, he received a flyer about a DOT proposal that would change parking on Jackson Avenue. The current two-lane traffic with parking on both sides would be changed to a one-lane traffic. While the proposal adds two bike access lanes, it removes parking from one side of the street. That just doesn't make any sense in New York City at all. Sometimes people need to wait in their car an hour or an hour and a half just to get a parking space around here. I've seen people sleeping in their cars waiting for a parking space. Mind you, I've been one of those people. So it's going to be a nightmare around here, Reyes says. Last week, Reyes spoke out against the proposal at a virtual DOT meeting. He says only about 10 people attended and that their complaints were ignored. See, that's the problem also. You're going to complain about there's no parking, but then you don't go to where it needs to be addressed at to get your voice heard. Let's move on. His neighbors stress that they aren't against the bike lanes in theory, but not at the expense of their parking spaces. Before they had this proposal, they needed to come out to the community and find out what our issues and concerns are as a whole, versus just saying, we need bike lanes. Let's change this street into a bike lane, which, again, makes absolutely sense. What's supposed to happen? DOT responded to News 12 saying that Jackson Avenue is a critical north-south connection for cyclists. They add that the proposal will include improvements to advance pedestrian safety, double parking, and traffic congestion. DOT added, in order to achieve those objectives while maintaining emergency vehicle and sanitation access, we must remove the parking lane on one side of the corridor. This change and the one-way conversation are not decisions that we have taken lightly, and we will continue our outreach to the community as we move closer to implementation, and will make adjustments where we can. Makes sense? I hope it works out. A New York AG report detailing harassment claims against Andrew Cuomo details brother's advising role. A report released Tuesday by the New York Attorney General's office shed new light on early reports that CNN anchor Chris Cuomo participated in strategy sessions for his older brother, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, amid allegations of sexual harassment. The report issued by New York AG Letitia James said Chris Cuomo was one of several outside advisors who were regularly provided with confidential and often privileged information that impacted the government despite having no formal role, duty, or obligation to the state. The report's appendix include a February email that Chris Cuomo sent to his brother's advisors, which included a suggestion that the governor say he never meant to offend or cause harm to anyone with his behavior. In the email was suggested that Andrew Cuomo say that, sometimes I am playful and make jokes. My only desire is to add some levity and banter to what is a very serious business. CNN has not commented on its anchor's inclusion in the AG report, and Chris Cuomo did not mention the report during his show on Tuesday evening. In May, Chris Cuomo apologized publicly after the Washington Post reported that he had took part in strategy sessions with his brother advisors as they discussed how to deal with the harassment allegations. Today, there are stories out there about me offering my brother advice, Chris Cuomo said. And at the time, of course I do. This is no revelation. I have said it publicly. And I certainly have never hid it. It's his brother, exactly. I'm family first, job second, he added. But, and we can understand, being a journalist and a brother to a politician is unique and a unique challenge. And I have a unique responsibility to balance those roles. But I like how he's going about it. Next, we got a woman found stabbed to death in East Harlem apartment building in a staircase. A 38-year-old woman was found on Wednesday morning in the staircase of a public housing complex in East Harlem. Police responded shortly after 6 a.m. to a 911 call of a woman inside the Wagner houses and found her with multiple stab wounds, unconscious and unresponsive. EMS also responded to the location and transported the female to NYC Health and Hospitals in Harlem, where she was pronounced deceased. The identity of the deceased is pending proper family notification. No arrests were made, and the investigation is still ongoing. Next, you need a federal housing voucher in a Long Island town. The wait is 9 years as housing advocates call on Congress to take action after the federal eviction moratorium expired July 31st. A new report suggests a lack of funding has created a backlog in low-income families and people in poverty receiving federal housing assistance. On Long Island, some people seeking housing vouchers to live in Brookhaven wait for assistance for over 9 years, among the longest reported waited times in the country. Well, I wonder what New York City is. The analysis from Center on Budget and Policy Priorities said families nationwide experience an average wait of 2.5 years. That's on par for New York and Connecticut families too. Unfortunately, the program is not funded at a level that matches needs. Sonia Acosta, a housing policy analyst at the center, said that the Housing Choice Voucher Program, known as Section 8, is the largest federal housing program in the country, serving 2.3 million households nationwide. The program covers the remaining cost of living for a family, which spends up to 40% of its income on rent and utilities. The amount is capped based on average rents in the area. State and local governments are in charge of administering the housing voucher program, with funding and guidelines set by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Acosta also stated that most local agencies are using all the funding that is allocated to them, yet still have waiting lists that are years long. Long waiting times are not due to agencies failing to spend their voucher funding, she said. Over the past decade, agencies have spent virtually every dollar that lawmakers have provided for vouchers. Housing advocates have called for more long-term planning to create affordable housing on Long Island. Other towns, such as Islip, have long wait times of 5 years. Long lists are not uncommon, says Ian Wilder. He's the executive director of Long Island Housing Services, a regional fair housing nonprofit. Starting this month, the town, which is awesome, will provide a down payment assistance program. It offers grants of up to $40,000 to qualifying first-time home buyers. They hope to pair this program with its family self-sufficiency program. It serves over 30 households that already receive assistance with additional resources to earn a degree or to better their careers. The end goal is to have families achieve self-sufficiency and home ownership. Awesome program, awesome program. Good to hear that. Next, we have the community is under attack by greedy developers. Our neighborhood is under attack by greedy developers who want to change our zoning and take over Bruckner Boulevard, all the way from Crosby Avenue to Gifford Avenue near St. Raymond Cemetery, to build 4 high-rise apartment buildings. An entity known as the Throgs Next Associates, LLC, led by one of the owners of Foodtown, has sent a letter to the New York City Planning Commission asking for zoning changes. While many properties are listed to be upzoned, many of the owners were not aware that this attempt was even taking place. In 2004, the City Council and the Department of City Planning both approved our down zoning as part of the Throgs Neck rezoning. All of Charlottesville and most of Throgs Neck were granted down zoning to R4A, which means only 1 and 2 family detached homes can be built going forward to preserve the character of the neighborhood. We are a low-density growth management zone. Changing this quiet, low-density neighborhood into something resembling Manhattan will not improve Charlottesville, and our schools, fire department, and police department cannot handle any increase in population. The needs of our community must take priority over greedy developers. The infrastructure must be considered and preserved. In the election year, both president and future elected officials have been contacted to gain support to preserve our neighborhood. Petitions have been created both online and on paper. Every civic organization in Throgs Neck, Pelham Bay, Charlottesville, and Country Club have been inundated with phone calls with people asking, is this true? And how can we stop this from going forward? You can help by getting signatures on petitions. So please contact us by email, not us, but contact them by email at www.waterbylasalle@yahoo.com. Again, I'm going to say that www.waterbylasalle@yahoo.com. What we're going to do is we're going to go into a commercial break. I am Kim Seabrook. We'll be right back with a good look in news on Millennium TV 24.